welcome to the Black Truth. This actually is kind of a serious episode because we're actually talking about like serious matters.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We started so like funnily and shit.
Funnily?
Why we started so jokingly?
Jovially.
Well, I guess we are happy on some level.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. I'm actually really excited. I'm not trying to be funny or do a skit. Like, no, I genuinely... Hold on, let me turn off notifications on my phone. Sorry, guys.
Turn off the what on your phone?
Notifications.
Notifications.
Isn't that how you say it? How do you say it?
Notifications, because it's like a note.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe I might be wrong. I thought that's why.
I don't know.
It's called that way because it comes from another word. You're supposed to say it that way. You're supposed to say it with like the root of the word.
Notification. Okay, so we've recently been notified that we have a new pope.
By the way, this is an emergency broadcast because literally I'm gonna put it out tonight, but it happened today around noon. The new pope was announced.
The white smoke was released.
The conclave was yesterday. It was a movie, but not like that satanic movie that they tried psyoping onto everyone last summer. But yeah, we got our new pope, Pope Leo
the 14th.
Yep. You probably thought I could read numerals. So you're saying.
I didn't know I was dealing with a Star Wars fan here.
No, it's not even from Star Wars. It's from Final Fantasy because the numerals in Final Fantasy have gone longer, so that's the only ones I remember.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's pretty gangster.
All the way to like 16, so I'm just
well, isn't Final Fantasy based on like European folklore?
Yeah, some of it is.
Yeah. So, sorry, I want to get straight into it, but you can talk about whatever it is.
No, you could. No, I just wanted to bring up how like I think the recent one, I haven't played like any of the Final Fantasies like to completion, but I just it was funny that I think the recent one that came out 16, the game developers were saying like I think they wanted to force like diversity in it, but the like someone wanted to tell them like, oh, you gotta make like a black character or whatever in the game, but the developers were like, no, that doesn't make any sense because like we're trying to do European
based
type stuff, so like they couldn't force one into it.
Okay, before we go on, I actually want to present a little challenge to you. Can we not curse in this from this point forward?
I like how you're giving me this challenge like I need it. I maybe I might need it now because I've had one
sun brew.
Yeah, one sun.
Okay, so now good challenge. You go crack open another one, bro.
No, I still have to finish.
Okay. So yeah, we got our new pope finally. Rest in peace, Pope Francis. I think he was a good pope. Do you want to talk a little bit about his papacy or?
I think I got into grave detail last episode of my thoughts on his papacy.
I thought, well,
just to keep it short, I just don't think he's as controversial as
the media made him out to be.
As the
right wing. I'm sorry. Can we cut the cheese? Can we cut the
white Anglo-Saxon Protestant media likes to make it out to be? I don't think it was that controversial.
No, I mean, other than his views on immigration and what's the other one? Environmentalism. That's really the only thing that you could really say was, excuse me. Sorry, I had to burp. That's the only thing you could say is like liberal about him. He did a lot of charity. He was like he was a man of the people, and
I guess you could also say he like tried to counter signal Trump a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, not to get
so like certain people, it's like Trump's like the only thing they care about, so that's why they have like a big.
Oh yeah, because they'll defend Trump like if he was. Yeah. And, the Pope, basically.
They'll complain about how like the Catholic Church is like idolatry and everything, but then like
they'll complain about the Catholic Church being idolatrous, right? Because we have the statue of Saint Peter, right? God bless his soul, right? Hopefully he'll be the first one to greet us when we go to heaven, if we get into heaven, right? But they'll criticize us for having Saint Peter at the Vatican, and they kept the statue of Albert Pike. Albert Pike is the only Confederate general that kept his statue. Do you know who Albert Pike is or no?
No, but why?
He was a 33rd degree Mason.
Whoa.
He wrote Morals and Dogma, Esoterica. He was a 33rd degree Mason, Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, and he was a Confederate general. He's the only Confederate general that kept their statue up. Robert E. Lee, I think Stonewall Jackson. Was he a Confederate or was he Union?
Look it up.
So it's because I'm like a history nerd for like 2 months at a time, and then after that, I just
forget about everything.
Yeah, literally.
Or you just make like assumptions and be like, oh yeah, it was that.
Stonewall. I'm pretty sure he was a Confederate general.
I don't know, just flip a coin. Yeah, it was Confederate general, military officer.
Yeah, so him, Robert E. Lee, they all had their statues taken down, and they kept up their statues. But this isn't just an issue like with Confederate general. I'm not anti-Confederacy. I'm Mexican, so of
I
course
just don't like it when the statues that they put up are like of like fake people. Or like now this. Did you know that what I'm talking about, right?
What do you mean?
Did you see the statue?
With the
of,
fat
like,
black chick?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those aren't wasps. I think wasps very clearly understand the issue with that. But my issue is like having statues of Albert Pike or who's another one? Even like Lady Liberty. Lady Liberty is literally Satan. There's an old like photo or painting of Satan like this, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in the camera of him like this, right? And that's literally the same pose that Lady Liberty's doing. Lady Liberty isn't even like a lady. It's a lady boy. Lady boy. She lady boy. It's supposed to be an androgynous figure. Which is funny because Mel Gibson makes Satan androgynous in the what movie is that? Passion of the Christ, yeah. Literally. So going back to Pope Francis, right? Yeah, I think Pope Francis, I think he was a good pope. I think a lot of people hated on him. Just because, again, like America was founded on, I don't want to say America was founded on anti-Catholicism because technically they were trying to separate themselves from the Anglican Church, but America has always been historically anti-Catholic. So it's very funny that we actually got a pope who's American, yeah.
And on top of that, he's from Chicago, which is like a double whammy for us because from Chicago, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if I tried. I think I tried being coy about it, like, oh, I don't know where I live. I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, Chicago.
Now it's a badge of honor. We could say it's a badge of honor.
Yeah, it is a badge of honor. And I've always said this, and I've said this, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting which hand to, like, talk with, right? I've always said this about Chicago. Chicago has always been a Catholic city. It's always been a Catholic city. And this just proves my point. We've always been a Catholic city. The Polacks, the Italians, the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Irish, even a lot of the Catholic churches that were built here in Chicago were built by Germans because we had a lot of German immigrants, right? Yeah, Chicago's always been a Catholic city. It's recently become secularized, right? I would say within the past, like, you could say since the 60s. But no, I think like within the past, like, 10 to 15 years, the city's become very, very, very secularized. Because I remember even like when we were in school, because I went to public school for some time. When I was a kid, I remember like when I was in public school, teachers telling me, "Oh, happy St. Nick's Day." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Or if your name was Joseph, or if your name was Anthony, because you know the Italians love St. Joseph and St. Anthony. They'll tell the kids, "Oh, happy St. Anthony Day, happy St. Patrick's Day." You know, they would always do that. And yeah, I'm happy to see a fucking. Damn, I lost.
So what do you think about like the sensationalization? Oh my gosh, I was already getting hit. Like of people, hype, even people who don't care about like or aren't Catholic, how invested they were like into the current conclave and the current selection.
Because you know what? I don't care if they're evangelical, if they're Orthodox. Everything goes back to Rome. And the fact that they even had any type of investment in it proves my point.
But I'm not talking about even like I don't know, like Orthodox or like Protestant people or whatever. Like liberal atheist people were invested in.
Because a lot of liberal atheists were Catholic.
Yeah, they're like, I grew up Catholic.
They're like,
trust me, I grew up Catholic.
I went to Catholic school. I know what I'm talking about.
I went to Catholic school, and I stopped around 6th grade because my parents were broke because they got divorced.
That's not very charitable of you, bro. Why would you say that?
I'm just making a depiction of a person.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
very real.
Yeah, but no, that is a real thing.
I have religious trauma.
Their religious trauma is waking up at 7 a.m. to go to mass, but it's a traditional Latin mass.
Me when I have to wake up at 7 a.m. to go to college to get my gender studies degree, versus me when I have to wake up at 7 on a Sunday to go to church, or. I don't know. That's my depiction of very real people. But no, I do understand why they're invested in who the Pope is. It's because the Pope is the superpower and geopolitically, I guess, because he does have influence I don't think it used to be like that. Like historically, am I wrong?
No, I think the Pope had more influence geopolitically before than he does now. The Pope is basically like I'm not picking on you either, but the Pope basically now is he's just the head of the church. That's really all he is. Because back in the day, the Pope Urban, I think Pope Urban, I can't remember which Pope Urban, but one of the Pope Urbans called the right folks, right, to go and defend their Christian brothers in the East. The Orthodox Christians, basically. So yeah, if it wasn't for us, all you people in the Middle East, all the Christian Christian Arabs will be doing a shahada, alhamdulillah, la 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 la. No, seriously, because like I'll see like Orthodox, I'm gonna curse. I'll see a lot of Orthodox niggas. They'll be like,
But they are that.
I'll see a lot of Orthodox niggas. They'll be like, the Pope, the Bishop of Rome is not the leader of the church. Okay, well, you would be in a mosque doing if it wasn't for the Bishop of Rome calling.
They got you. The Orthodox bros got you.
Jay Dyer.
Brother Nathaniel got you.
Brother Nathaniel with his Kabbalah power.
If only we had enough time, Bible time with brother. With him.
But no, yeah, seriously though, if it wasn't for us, they would have been wiped off the face of the earth. Each and every one of them, the Oriental Orthodox and the Eastern Orthodox and the Assyrian Church of the East. If it were not for Catholics, clip this. If it were not for Catholics, all the Christians in the East would be Muslim or Hindu, and that's just how it would have been. You know, because they could talk all they want about it. Oh, the Bishop of Rome, the Bishop of Rome, they're woke, right? No, the Roman pontiff is the leader of the church because Jesus Christ in Matthew 16, 18 gave Peter the keys to lead his church. That's what he did. And he did it for a reason because he knew that the Latin West would significantly outgrow the Greek East, and that's what it did. We invented the West. The fact that we even have drip, look at my drip, is because of the Catholic Church. The fact that us brown people are even able to read and write and speak English and Spanish, well, for me speak Spanish, is because of the Catholic Church, right? This is okay. I'm gonna give Protestant. I'm gonna give them a little bit of leeway or give them a little bit of credit. Is that even the Protestants too are responsible for most of the educational what's the word I'm looking for?
Origin, infrastructure.
Yeah. The Catholics and the Protestants are the reason why we have the West. And I'm going to say it, the Freemasons too, right? All those three groups are the reason why we have everything we have in the West. Now you can say, oh, but the Orthodox Church, yes, they had a little bit of influence. Yes, even the Muslims too. But overall, the Catholics set the groundwork for Western culture, art, music, literature, everything that we see in Western culture. I mean, I can literally grab one of your random comics and then tell you how it's Catholic.
Okay, we'll do that next episode.
Yeah, we'll do that next episode. Not right now. I didn't prepare for this, but yeah.
I like it when you just grab random stuff. I remember one of the earlier episodes. I don't know what you were talking about. You were just like, you just took like the Spider-Man Blu-rays off of my shelf. You were like, it could be as simple as a Spider-Man Blu-ray. And I was like, oh, thanks. Not gonna put it back. But no, I thought I guess I was kind of brainwashed by the mainstream WASP media. But I like because I was watching. It was funny because I was watching Fox when they announced the Pope. But someone said, like, one of the announcers said, like, oh, it's very important who the Pope is because they can affect or like they were like, oh, as in recent times the Pope has. I
think I know why he said that. What you were about to say, I think I know why. But say what you're gonna say first.
They're saying like that the Pope, like recent popes have more influence over geopolitics than historically. So I kind of just assumed that was true. But why do you think that?
No, because conservatives accuse. Oh my goodness, Pope Pius. I don't want to sound stupid right now. Can you look it up? Look up the
guy
Pope.
Who said that Pokemon satanic.
No. Can you look up the Pope before John Paul? Before I say what I'm going to say.
Pope before John Paul for the first.
No,
one?
it wasn't the first. It was
He
Pope
died
Pius.
in the 70s. So I'm just gonna see. Look up the popes in order.
Popes in order, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oops. Ops in order.
Hey man, if it really has to get to that point.
Okay, hold on. John Paul the First was right. Okay, Pope. Stop for a minute. John, what the hell am I looking at? Give me a second. Let me get closer. Yeah. So the Catholic Church accused Pope Pius. Is that the 8th?
This one?
No, this one.
That is the 12th.
Oh yeah. So Pope Pius the 12th.
He looks kind of like anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that's what they accuse him of.
Oh really?
Yes, because he was complacent. He was complacent during the time of World War II, and during this time, Benito Mussolini got tired of the Catholics. He was like, you know what? Shut up already. I'm giving you your own state. Leave us alone already. And people could accuse the Catholic Church of being, not just the Catholic Church, but the Pope of being complacent during World War II. And then look at Maximilian Kolbe.
Yeah.
Doing all the things that he was doing to save the guys with the hats, right? You know what I mean? So it's like,
I mean, I think you could say Jews in that context.
Oh, go. Yeah, he was trying to save the Jews, right? That's what he was doing. So I don't think the church has had the Catholic Church. I don't think the Catholic Church, going back to what you were saying about being like having influence in world affairs or geopolitics. I don't think they've had any influence on geopolitics since the time of the Reformation.
But don't you think that
and especially after the Age of Enlightenment.
Well, what they say about the Pope, I mean probably like people like Alex Jones, is they say that he influenced like more mass migration and all that stuff by like saying like, oh, you should do this. So that's kind of like the cause and effect. So that's why they say he has influence. And then they bring up like the Catholic charities. That's
not true, because in Florida they're trying to make a law that forces Catholic priests to break the seal of confession.
To do what?
Joe Biden tried doing that too. Joe Biden also recognized gay marriage.
Yeah.
And transgenderism, which all goes against Catholicism.
But I think people.
I think if you're retarded, and you think that I think if you think the Catholic Church has any say in politics or geopolitics, you're retarded.
Like, do you think that there's a sort of like soft power, where it's like it's not something like that? Like it's not like the Vatican can just like put troops like boots on the ground like anywhere like
yeah
that.
We haven't done that in 1,000 years.
Like now they could do that, but like don't you think there's a sort of like soft power?
No, maybe in education, but here's the thing: the Catholic Church does not control education; they're controlled by the secular governments. The Catholic Church has been under persecution by the secular governments since its inception. Excuse me.
So, because I think
I'm not attacking you. I know why you're bringing this up, but I'm just saying in general, no.
I'm bringing it up because there's a bunch of people
retards.
Who aren't even Catholic that are not even like Christian that are invested in. Cause I know, okay, I can understand why like Protestants would be invested because they need like what's his name? They need Joseph Anderson to make like another video shitting on the Pope. And like being like, look at this guy.
They need George Janko or Johnny Dang. What's that chink's name? Sorry, what's that Asian guy's name? The one that does all the Protestant videos. He's like tattoos. They need the Christian Avengers to come and save Christianity because the Pope, because Catholics, they worship the Pope and we're worried they're gonna lead people astray. The Antichrist is coming. That's what it is. We're the Protestants, but atheists or liberals, yeah, it is kind of weird how they're invested.
Well, I think one of the things which is actually important is if his stance on Israel and Palestine, because obviously
That's why I wanted Pizza Bello.
Yeah, because that's the only thing. That's the only reason why I think a bunch of liberals are. Oh, it's also like the the gay stuff and.
Yeah, he's anti-gay.
And yeah, they don't got him on that stuff. So I don't know.
And everything except immigration, he's liberal on.
Seems like it.
Everything except immigration, he's liberal on. I mean, Wait, what? Hold on.
Everything except immigration.
Immigration, he's conservative on. That's what I meant to say.
But yeah. So like right away when they announced it, everyone was like trying to do like there'd be like a investigator, and they're like all looking into like his history and everything, and try to find like, oh, did he do this? And I think someone found his Twitter account of
Yeah, and I was able to find it too.
Yeah,
because you say because you sent it. Yeah.
To you. You're acting like actually I was able to find it just like how they found the shoot of what's it called?
Shout of Turin.
Just like how they found the Shout of Turin, I discovered
right there.
ancient through ancient methods. I was able to find his account. And it's funny. Oh, so like the first one is actually I need to put it on the tab. So recording, yeah. So the first one, like I even found when I found the first one, or like the first tweet that people were sharing, I started doing that thing where they just like scrub through everything, and I don't even know what this is trying to say. This is just some like boomer nonsense. Like I don't even know what this is trying to say. Something about the El Salvador guy. I don't know.
What is it?
As Trump and Bukele use Oval to laugh Fed's illicit deportations of a U.S. resident, once an undocumented Salvadorian himself, now D.C. Do you not see the suffering? Is the conscience not disturbed? How can you stay quiet?
What?
Who is this guy? Okay, so this... I don't... These, I think the problem is these guys don't know how to use social media. They're like... Because these might be coming straight from the source.
Sorry, these two beers are starting to hit. I don't know who this... These two beers are starting to hit.
He retweeted this guy. This wasn't the new Pope. He retweeted
well, maybe
like
with Pope...
You're coping already.
Listen, I'm a Pope explainer, okay? I'm a Gen Z papist, okay? Look, can I say something?
Yeah.
You know how, like, and I know you've done this before. You know how there's times when, like, a liberal says something that you're like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what he's doing. Where, like, he agrees with something that's, like, unintentionally based.
You're doing the 40 chest? That's what people do with, this is what you sound like right now.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard.
Yeah, but anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're going through his. So that was the first one. No, actually, that wasn't the first one I saw. The first one I saw was him counter-signaling JD Vance, saying that he's wrong. I actually don't have a problem with this one either, because, or I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. He's like
because he might be saying that like JD Vance is like wrong. He's like he's not a theologian, so why is he like using what's it called, Nervous Ordo or whatever?
Norvis Odom.
What did he bring up? He brought up like some phrase to justify why we need to make America a better place by deporting everyone, something like that. So yeah, this was like 2 months ago, but he went like, no, he's wrong. I actually know what I'm talking about, and I don't have a problem because I don't know about you, but I think JD Vance is a fake Catholic.
Are you saying that?
Yeah.
I agree. Because here's the thing, and this is something that I've recently come to discover.
Okay.
Is that
because you were kind of glazing him.
Okay. Am I wrong for glazing somebody when they say Deus Vult or when they say Christus Dominum Est? I'm sorry. This is the first time in American history that we've ever seen this much support for Catholicism, right? Think about it, right? Let me ask you this. Do you have any family members that became Pentecostal? Baptist?
Not that I know of.
Baptist?
No.
Jehovah's Witness?
No.
Okay. This is why. Because I have family members that converted, right? And then they always want to hit you with this shit about like, you know, in the Bible it says, call no man father. You know, it says you've been saved by your faith because you can have both with your works. And then all these new guys, right?
You're about to say something else right now.
Thank you for stopping me. But yeah, all these guys, all these people in mainstream politics are converting to Catholicism, and they're conservative, right?
So you don't think it's because they're pandering?
No, I think it's because they understand that to be a student of history, is to cease to be Protestant and become Catholic, right?
That's what it means to be base. That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
Is it base to you, buddy?
Yeah. But no, seriously though, this is the first time in American history we've had this many people openly Catholic. JFK, one of the greatest presidents we had, was Catholic, and he was discriminated against.
I don't know. Debatably, he was the last president. We don't know. Debatably, he was the last president.
He probably was.
And if that makes him the last president, then it doesn't make
George Washington. There's been theories that have been floating around that he converted to Catholicism before he died.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at the thing. I'm just laughing at like how like, cause you know how like you get information and like because you because you get the information, you immediately like you think it sounds good, so immediately you side with like.
Is that berserk?
Yeah. Like you immediately side with wait, can you see it? You immediately side with like the answer that
you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called confirmation bias.
Yeah, confirmation. Yeah. Like, so it sounds like you just like because like your reels are like set to like send you like base Catholic trad stuff. It's saying you that did you know George Washington? Because you know how like those black people they get like the AI generated like black people or like the founders like Beethoven's black and shit.
King James was black.
So it sounds like you like people they just make up stuff and they put it in like a real format and then people think, oh, this is real. Not Israel, but it's real because it's in like a real.
No,
format.
yeah, I know what you're saying, but no, that is a real thing though. He was visiting a bunch of Catholic churches before the end of his life.
Was there like an AI picture of him like visiting?
No.
I'm sorry, just like I don't know. You might be right, but it's just something that's like so far off.
What, are you not based? How is it far off? What's his name? George Washington was an Anglican. I don't know if you know, but the Anglican Church used to be Catholic, and then they split off from the Catholic Church.
So then, why do you think he would want to become Catholic again?
Because he's at the end of his life. He's like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking go to hell.
So you think the same thing happened with JD Vance?
No, I think JD Vance was like, oh look, all these tried cats online. I think I'm gonna convert.
Okay, so this is the main reason why I don't think he's like a real Catholic.
Because he's pro-Israel?
No.
Because he married a Jeet?
Do you? So are you gonna owe me something for swearing so much on this episode? Because you literally said like let's not try to swear.
I'm
this
sorry.
This is gonna be a PG episode.
The beers are hitting. I'm sorry.
This is gonna be a PG episode of the Black Truth, and then. But yeah, that's why. Because like, well, it's not that he has like his wife is Indian and the kids are Indian. It's not just that. It's that.
Thank you. Come again.
He doesn't insist. Like, I don't think the rest of his family is Catholic. They might go to church, but I don't think the rest of his family's Catholic like that, which is weird. Because even like, 'cause you know, like back in the day when like Obama would go to churches and stuff, and he would like live up to the thing and you know be like, oh yeah, Jesus Christ. Do you remember that? Do you remember like thinking like?
I thought he was a Catholic saint.
You remember thinking like, oh, like so he believes in God, right? Like yeah.
Yeah, but he's married to a man.
But it still felt like weird to that. I don't know why. I wasn't even like red pill back then, but the idea of like Obama believing in God felt like weird. It felt weird to me. Like
yeah, because he's married to a fucking guy.
Like no, just like seeing him in a church, I'm like, why is he in a church? Like okay, I even believe like I don't know, like George W. Bush or H.W. Bush or whatever. I could believe those ones, but like, but yeah, it's like this is my problem with JD Vance is like, I think he left like his extended family, like his actual like white side of his family, like I think he left.
His wife is kind of hot though.
I just don't like that he left his extended family. It doesn't seem like he.
Why is he so fat? Go to this picture right here.
He's a fat boy.
He's a fat boy.
I still need to see that movie or the book or whatever. I was gonna buy the book, but I was kind of waiting for it to be like.
Yeah, you know he'd be in his what do they call it? Biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
He eats his fucking biscuits and gravy. That nigga gets the fucking 5-piece from Popeyes. He's like, excuse me, can I get the 5-piece with mashed potatoes on the side?
And his wedding wasn't even like a traditional
Catholic
wedding, so it's like why? I think I would rather have him be like atheist, like to be honest. Like I feel like him being Catholic is like a strategic. Like, I feel like if they would have workshopped it a little more, he would have said he was Orthodox, like 100%. Like if they were workshopping his career, because you know how he just became a senator like 3 years ago. Like he didn't have like a long history in politics or anything like that.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't. That's enough of my JD Vance hate. Let's go back to the Pope.
But yeah, so what do you think his papacy is gonna look like the next, like let's just say 15, 20 years?
Okay, this is my theory. My theory is that they picked an American because they know that America is losing its influence, and because America is losing its influence in the world, it's okay to give them the Pope, or give them a Pope, because they're not going to be a global superpower for any longer. Either that, or the theory is the keep your enemies closer thing. So maybe they think that Trump's an op, so they're like, okay, we're gonna have one of our boys or our main boy from where you're at, and we're gonna check on that player boy.
That's an interesting theory.
I have to simplify it so that brothers can understand it, man.
But
you gotta simplify a little bit, put some chitlins and grits in it. Put some dishwasher in the chicken. Dishwasher soap in the chicken.
Man, I think this player, he has rice and beans, man.
Y'all gotta put the collard greens in the bathtub.
Man, that brother look like he eat tacos, man.
I don't know. We need to talk to some African American gentlemen and see what they think about the new Pope.
Oh, you know, like, man, they want you to worship a white man, bro. Man, I don't do that, man. I'm a Jew. We the real Jews.
Do you think if they had a what's his name? Robert? Is his name Robert Sarah?
If Robert Sarah became the Pope, I think a lot of black people like, man, you know what, man? I changed everything I said about the Catholic Church, man.
Like the Catholic Church started getting a bunch of black people. Like,
no, I think there would have been a bunch of black converts if
we get a bunch of Candace Owens.
Yeah, we'll get a bunch of Candace Owens like, man, we be with that, feel me? We be with that Deus Vult and shit, man.
They finally start believing in the Trinity.
They finally start believing, yeah, cause I think, cause like, Nettle, that guy, what's his name? Stuart Nettle.
No.
You know the guy that does the fucking debate? Remember he debated the Orthodox kid, the black Orthodox kid, Cliff Nettle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember he said, he was like, yeah, like black people have been the most loyal to Jesus. No, the fuck they haven't.
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's like
they're the biggest heretics, and even when they become Muslim, they become Nation of Islam. Yeah. Nation of Islam is like Jehovah's Witness or Mormon. for like Muslims. That's what it is. It's like when they do join a religion, they have to be like the most like extreme heretical sect of a religion.
Well, I think the problem is that they only have they're the only ones who are allowed to like publicly. You know how like in like Saudi Arabia it's banned to have like public displays of affection.
Yeah.
Well, like in America, it's like kind of like, or like more in like liberal parts of America, like having public displays of affection towards God is like illegal unless you're black.
Yeah.
So that's why to them like.
And then they're like the biggest heretics.
Yeah. So like the only I feel like this is kind of like some like low key like racism from that WASPs do. They allow like everyone else. They're like, okay, keep the politics or keep the religion separate from everyone. You don't have to push your religion to everyone. But then with blacks, they're about to be like, oh yeah, bring me Jesus, bring me Lord.
Can I say something?
What? You think that music's all good?
Yes, but gospel music, real quick. Gospel music, I actually really do like gospel music because of Ye. Ye made me like gospel music. But I think that if Eminem had came out with a Jesus is King, it would have gotten a lot more shit than Ye's Jesus is King.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, for
black, and I hate Eminem. But I'm just saying, like,
why'd you use Eminem
because he's white.
All right, that makes sense.
If Taylor Swift came out with a Jesus is King,
even like Christian artists, you know how like there's like Christian rock, like Christian rappers and stuff. Not like
I hate it.
Not like the Bryson Great Christian type, but like the regular Christian type.
I hate them.
Like they're only like allowed to, especially like the rock ones. They're only allowed to like for Christian rock. The only thing that they can really do is like
Skillet. I like Skillet.
Not swear and like kind of have some allusions to God. Like that's
so,
really it. Because to everyone else other than blacks, it's seen as like corny to like be like talk about God all the time. But since a lot of black media
is revolved around God,
like somehow invokes God somehow, to regular people it's treated like people see like, oh, like they're really keyed into their faith. Even like Medea movies, they'll have like a scene where like they go to like church at the end of the day. You're acting like you don't know that, bro.
Yeah, I know.
They'll have a scene.
I did grow up on BET. Can you believe that?
They'll have or like what's the other? Like the that one Disney Channel movie, Let It Shine.
Yeah.
Like the whole entire thing takes place in a church. Like it's just treated as being like 1-to-1. Like they like black media. Even that one the Sinners movie takes place in a church. Like
remember Captain America 4 when they open in a church or a monastery and they're all Hispanic? Because I was gonna try to segue into how Christianity is kind of associated with minorities.
Yeah. But yeah.
Or even most whites. I think Anglo-Saxons have always been an issue for Christianity. Because Anglo-Saxons and can I say the other group? The Tiny Hats? Can I say that? The Tiny Hats and the Wasps have been like the leaders in like occult and esoteric knowledge.
Whoa.
No, because the Irish are very fucking. I try not to curse, but the Irish are very devoutly Catholic. Hispanics are for the most part very devoutly Catholic. Blacks, even though they're heretics, they're I don't want to even say devoutly, but they try to like walk with God. But yeah, I feel like those three groups of people, like they're very God is the center of the world. And so, it kind of makes you think a little bit. It's like you kind of have to be poor and a minority.
That's why a lot of people don't like. Or that's another reason why people move away from the faith, because they feel like it incentivizes being poor.
Well, yeah, because when the Romans,
or that it's only meant for poor people.
Yeah, and because I've always said this: whenever life is going good, you either love God the most or you don't need God at all.
Deep cut.
That is a deep cut. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes like I'll see Christians. Let me shit on the atheists first, right? They'll have all their life in order, but like, oh, why do I need why do I need God?
Yeah, it's because they think that everything that they've gotten, or everything that was given to them, was because of them. So they don't think that God has anything to do with it.
They don't think luck has anything. Luck, let me tell you something. Luck goes a long way. We just don't know how to use it. But if you're a Christian, you understand there's no such thing as luck. That's God's will. So if God allows something to happen to you in your life, so let's say something's really good. For example, if I said, hey, Franklin, dude, I could get you a job in the union tomorrow, right? That's luck.
Whose cock do I gotta suck?
If it's that, then it's of the devil. But for the most part, if I'm gonna do it, I could get you this really good job in like a day, not a day, but let's say like in a week, right? That's an opportunity that God's giving you to better your life. And if you don't take that step, that's your fucking fault, right? And but a lot of atheists are like, well, I did it myself because I got molested when I was 5 and I don't want to get molested ever again. I don't know. That's just me making fun of atheists. But no, yeah, they'll be like, I did everything by myself. I don't need anybody. It's like, no, you do need a certain level of luck, right? But obviously, if you're Christian, you don't believe in luck and you don't believe in coincidences because you know it comes from God. So, yeah, so they rely on themselves. But then when you realize that you're fallible, well, then you need God, right? But I'm talking about but now I want to shit on Christians, right? Christians that have their life perfect all the time, they'll do like, oh, just have faith, you know. Just get married when you're young. Just get married. When you get out of high school, get married. Yeah, faggot. Have you met these whores? Like, you ever hear Christians talk about things idealistically?
Yeah.
And then I almost kind of agree with the atheists, right? When these Christians talk about like, oh yeah, just have faith, just believe, you know. It's like, yeah, because your life is great. It's hard for you to relate to people at the bottom. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah. Can we talk about the papacy again? But no, yeah. So Pope Leo XIV. As far as politics goes, I do think it is a little bit fishy that we have an American Pope. Right? I don't want to get into conspiracy land, but I do think that there is a deeper reason. What the?
Well, just some like.
Oh.
It's from Sanchez Jose. From Sanchez Jose. Do you got a problem with Sanchez Jose?
Bro, I hate Jose.
Sanchez. How's that? Having Jose as your last name is crazy.
But no, yeah, like I said, I think that he might be a good pope, right? I do think it is a little bit fishy that we have a American pope, especially with the American economy getting worse, with Trump as president. I do think that there is some other hands at play. Who are the puppeteers? We don't know, but God willing, God will prevail. And hopefully more people will convert to Catholicism, you know? Because I think Catholicism has something that Protestantism doesn't.
It has...
mysticism.
That's an outdated term. You know what it really has?
What?
Has aura. Because Catholicism is the center of the earth, the world. That's why everyone cares about it. That's why everyone... for a couple days, even if you're liberal, even if you're Protestant, you have to look up. You have to be like, who's gonna be the Pope? Who's gonna be the what's it called?
The Pontiff.
Pontiff. Sorry, I was almost gonna mispronounce. Who's gonna be the leader? Either so I could make fun of them, so I could own the libs, or
so I can make fun out of some grandma praying her rosary.
So I could make fun. So I could act like everything's becoming more progressive and it's a good thing.
Or I can make everybody uncomfortable at Thanksgiving dinner.
How would that happen? Is it like some old boomers like, look at your Pope?
No, it'll be like somebody who left Catholicism. Let's say they're like Hispanic. They're like, no, I read my Bible. It's the King James Bible, and then my pastor, he was telling me I had sex with him, and he told me that you call no man father, so I called him daddy when he was raping me in the butt, and then yeah, you can't pray to Mary. If you pray to Mary, you're doing idolatry. You're praying to idols. Fuck the Pentecostal church, nigga. Fuck Pentecostalism. Fuck the Assemblies of God. I hate them.
Dude, you gotta owe me something for this It's supposed to be a bet.
Bro, no, because now I'm drunk and I'm pissed. Because I'm thinking about all these poor Catholic grandmas that left Catholicism because they were manipulated by their whore of a granddaughter that told them, in the Bible it says this or that. No, you're having sex with your pastor and you're trying to get your rank up in the church. Sorry.
Some people, the problem is that some people, they just stay for the cookies at the end of the mass. But
yeah.
They don't really want
the grape juice and crackers.
Yeah. They just want the cookies, but they don't want.
No, but seriously though, I do think that people, I do, especially young men, I think are going to start converting more towards Catholicism, because Catholicism does still have mysticism, which is missing from the non-denom churches, the Pentecostal churches, and most Protestant churches. And that's what the Catholic Church offers. What makes the Catholic Church so great is that the Catholic Church has mysticism and rationality, right? The Orthodox, they look at God mystically, like, oh, we cannot ever know God because he lives outside of the human understanding of the world, and we cannot understand God because God lives beyond physics and quantum physics. And then Protestants like, actually, well, when you study the ecosystem and when you study quantum physics and geometry, you'll see that there has to be the nature is governed by laws, and there has to be a lawgiver, and I believe that lawgiver is the God of the Hebrew Bible. This is why I send half my income to Israel, right? So the Catholic Church is like, hey, wasp man, hey, you're right. We could prove God with science, but God is so much above science that we don't know. We can only understand this much of him. So they take the best of Orthodoxy and the best of Protestantism and turn it into something that's universal. And that's what the word Catholic means, universal.